Welcome back everyone. Before I'm gonna start and show you the new design that we have for this video, I want to talk about a little bit about hammers, special plastic mallet, whatever you want to call it. Plastic hammers, let's say like that. Of course, sometimes you want to use a plastic hammer, but because you don't want to damage the part, or you don't need so much force in your hammer and in your hits, so you will just use a plastic mallet or plastic hammer. Back in the days I didn't had one and I wanted to do something, so I came with this one. I have shown it in you can see there is a video how I made this one, and I have used and talked about it in previous videos, like the last video that we did. And let me tell you a little bit about this one. So basically, this part here is made out of plastic cups, bottle caps. Basically, so bottle caps that I melted. You can see the video, but I melted them and I joined them all together and I made a head. When it comes to bottle caps, not all bottle caps want to melt and join together. For this one, I use Coca-Cola cups. They have the black and red. I mostly use black, but you can see that I tried a little bit different plastic, but it did not stick, did not melt it properly. So you can see it all over the hammer. But it's fine. Like I said, there was an experiment and it worked. So if you're gonna try to do something like that, since I did not explain it in the other video when I was making this one, I recommend highly to using a bottle caps that are from Coca-Cola. They melt really nice, they join really nice, and you can form them. Basically, yes, I use a toaster, an old toaster. I use a non-stickable paper, if I'm not mistaken, the one that you cook, you make cakes or something, so nothing will stick to it. And basically I melted, I don't know, I don't know how many bottle caps, maybe 40-50 bottle caps. So I melted them, and I use a Coca-Cola can, the thin one, not the thick one, and I put the plastic inside and I press it to make me a kind of a round shape. It did not work perfectly, but it worked enough for me to work it out later. Then if I'm remembering correctly, I use my drill or something to attach it to a drill, and then I use a little bit of like a chisel or something, or even a little bit sandpaper and a file to get the shape, to make it nice and round. As you can see, it came really nice. And basically, for the handle, I just drill a hole and just stick. This is a second handle I'm using, just because the previous one that I had a nice handle broke, just because I made the part that joins the head and the handle weak. So I recommend making it a good hole and good joint here. And I use, as you can see, I use a little bit screw and a little bit of super glue. Not much, because this doesn't have such a big force, but it's holding really nice. And of course, since this was before I had my 3D printers, and then it was my first 3D printing hammer, plastic hammer, mallet, whatever. And basically this contains from 3 parts. You're gonna have the head, the end piece. You're gonna have the one that screws in, they all screw in, and you're gonna have the handle. Nice design, really like it. I have 2 of them. I really use them. Of course, it has my logo, EMXT. T means for tools. Really nice to color. You can put it however you want. To print this one, I use 100% infill. Anything less may not work nicely. I prefer 100% infill when it comes to tools. You probably could do the 2 end piece 100% and then do the handle like, I don't know, 20% infill and 2mm wall. I recommend 100% infill to make it solid and nicely. Didn't took so much materials. I think 200 grams to print this one. How much is 200 grams? Like 200 grams cost me €2. So for €2 to have a plastic hammer, it's fine. Of course, this is available for free. You can still download it. There's a video about it. And this brings me to today's design. Today's design, I wanted to have something small. Sometimes when you're working on model cars, or you're working on, even a 3D printing project, that I don't need such a big hammer or such much force to hit it, or so it will slide or whatever, to assemble it. So I wanted something small with this tiny thing. As you can see, this is my idea of a mini hammer. We're gonna call it a mini hammer. You can see this part is flat here. You can see how the shape that this part is flat, so you print it like that with the build plate, so you don't use any supports, not even for the lettering here, the EMXT. I do not use any supports and it comes really nice, so I don't recommend using. If you want you can, but I don't recommend. And yeah, so sometimes I need some, you know, small parts or something to fit a little bit tightly, so I wanted a hammer that I can just bam 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 and it will go in. And I can guarantee you can use this for many other things. And this is again 100% infill. It's a new filament, really nice color. You can make it 2 color, but I don't recommend because it may break. It has a flat edge here and it has a rounded here in case you need it. Simple design, but I really like it. Okay, so this is 100% scale, so this is how the file will come. This is the size of it. It's pretty small for smaller things. This one is 25% larger than this one. As you can see, the difference. Just wanted to have 2 different sizes. This is a little bit much better for like model making or assembling your 3D prints, just because it fits a little bit nicer in your hand and you have a little bit more force. But I'm gonna for sure will be using both of them, smaller and for the smaller things and for bigger things. Again, it has my logo EMXT. It means tools. Yeah, not much to it. I really like this filament. You can see how it shines, and I got some new coming in. You can see my build plate, how it prints. I don't believe it's 100% alright, but it's good enough. And you can make it how much? If you make it 200% or 150%, I mean 50% bigger, so you will have it like that. So you can use it for even bigger projects. And I can guarantee you, now I'm not gonna test it because I don't want to ruin my head. I can guarantee you that you can stick a nail to the wall with this. But I don't want to ruin because of course metal and plastic doesn't flow together. So I don't want to ruin my head because I'm gonna be using this for sure. So yeah, this is basically the evolution of my plastic hammers. From a handmade, homemade, whatever materials I can find around the house, a hammer, to a 3D printing, you know, much more nicer quality, much more nicer hammer, to a mini hammer. And I can guarantee you that there is much more hammers coming. I'm gonna experiment with the designs, experiment with the different filaments to see what's the best one. But for a moment, this is it. Of course, this is available for free. You can download it, print it however you want it. 100% infill, I highly recommend. I hope you like it. Subscribe, like and share, and I hope I will see you in the next one.